If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. DaBaby and NBA YoungBoy are about to drop their collaborative record, Better Than You, this Friday on March 4th. And in this video, I wanted to go over everything that we know so far about this new album. So let's jump straight into this. So is it just me, or did this just kind of come out of nowhere? I mean, the first time that we ever heard of them collaborating was when that first single to this now whole project dropped, called Hit. And this thing got like a funny music video because, you know, NBA YoungBoy is still on house arrest, so they had to shoot it at home in like a very amateur way. I thought this was done very creatively, and I did like this quite a bit. This also did pretty well, and their styles fit together better than I initially thought. So even back then it was clear that the two of them had linked up and something was coming. But then a whole album was what this turned into, and there were not like official announcements from either of them, but they somehow, you know, very low-key announced this thing. And for example, DaBaby called it the collab of the century while reposting a lot of the news articles detailing that this album is now dropping. As I already said in the beginning, this is dropping on March 4th, so this Friday, so in 2 days, so it's about to drop. They have since then also released another single called Neighborhood Superstars. Again, a very funny video attached to it because YoungBoy, still being on house arrest, needed them to film it at home, and both of those videos I think are very funny. I hope that we get a couple of more of those because it's just really funny seeing them just having fun and shooting music videos at home. The next thing we're going to talk about is the album cover. Now, I really like this album cover, to be honest. It's very creative. You got like these, you know, claymation type of figures and versions of the two artists, DaBaby and NBA YoungBoy, performing, and you can see that it's titled Better Than You in the typical YoungBoy font. Funny that it chose that instead of like a DaBaby type of style, but this is the album cover, and I actually do really like it. I think it's very creative and fits the, you know, lighter tone of the album overall pretty well, or at least from what we've heard so far. DaBaby has shown a lot of love to YoungBoy, especially over the last 1 to 2 years, most recently saying that he knows that he's not getting the credit he deserves for his music because of the stigma that surrounds him. And he said he listened to his last project and he's crazy talented, and that referring to the Colors mixtape that NBA YoungBoy dropped last month. So, you know, DaBaby has always been a big fan, calling him one of his favorite rappers on multiple occasions over the past 2 years. So it was only a matter of time until the two of them linked up. And now that, you know, NBA YoungBoy is back again, still in house arrest, but back again, it seemed like the perfect time to do this, and he probably had some focus to lock in and just, you know, do this album. Another information that we have on this is the track list, which is obviously very interesting. Now, this was a post from DaBaby, and we can see this just like a little Office Depot notepad he's holding into the camera, but on there we can see that we have 12 tracks in total. So let's go through them and see which ones you already got. So the first one is Hit, so the first single that we got initially for this whole thing. I like that quite a bit, although I found the hook to be very repetitive, and I don't like that specific style, but it was an alright single. It had some, you know, crazy energy to it, so I do like that. Then we got a track called On This Line, then a track called Wi-Fi, then Little to a Lot, then BBL, then Count on Me, Turbo, then the track 8 was previously Dangerous but now Syracuse, then we have Creeper, then Head Off, and then Neighborhood Superstar, which I already, you know, mentioned earlier, which was the latest single. We got a video for it that dropped today. I like that one better than Hit, to be honest. I also like the music video for it, so that's probably my, you know, my favorite of the two tracks so far. And the last track is Bestie, because apparently they besties now. Now at the bottom it obviously says Better Than You, so again referencing the album title. On this track list, we can't really make out any features. Now, of course, I think that some artists are going to be featured on there. I don't think that they're going solo on all 12 tracks. The two singles that we got so far were already them going solo, so I think that at least on 2 or 3 on these tracks, there's going to be someone else on there, but DaBaby didn't want to show us who it was going to be, but I'm really, you know, calculating that in, that we're at least going to get like, you know, 2 to 3 features on there still. Now, as I already said, to me, this came out of nowhere, this announcement of this project. I'm not sure how you found out about this, and please let me know in the comments, but to me it just kind of popped up one day and it was like, yo, DaBaby and NBA YoungBoy dropping this Friday, and I was like, yo, how is this happening? Like, where is it all gonna be? But now thinking about it a little bit more, I'm happy that these two are dropping a project together. First of all, because we need some new DaBaby. Now, of course, he dropped that 6-piece EP last year, at the end of last year, I think that was, but it's been a while since DaBaby dropped like a full-blown album, and I know that this is not like a replacement for it. I'm still waiting for a longer solo DaBaby album, but still, at least we're gonna get some new DaBaby. NBA YoungBoy recently dropped, and of course, he has a crazy, release schedule, so this only makes sense. And as I said, the fact that DaBaby has shown so much love to NBA YoungBoy over the past 2 to 3 years, just, it made sense for them to now collaborate on this thing. Now, of course, I'm not expecting anything like, hip-hop changing, crazy lyrical on there from the tracks we've heard so far. It's gonna be them just having fun in their usual styles, DaBaby with that little, irony to it as always, and YoungBoy just doing his thing on there as well. So I think the energy and synergy between them will probably make for really fun and lighthearted, even though it might, contain some very dark and violent lyrics as is usual for them, but just in tone, I think there's gonna be a very lighthearted project, at least from what we've heard so far and from what, DaBaby usually does. I'm unsure how this will perform commercially, because while the two of them are obviously very, high profile artists, and YoungBoy is in high demand right now, whenever DaBaby comes through with something, it usually does very well, and the music videos have done millions of streams so far, so I think that this could perform really well. But then again, most of these collaborative mixtapes that drop nowadays, even if it's among like, very big people, they don't seem to sell as well as when they do their solo stuff. So I'm guessing this is just because they linked up together and DaBaby wanted to do that record. I think this is really like, pro action from DaBaby on this one. That's kind of what it feels like. Also seeing, how he, promotes this, and the YoungBoy is more keeping it more low key. So my guess is also that DaBaby could use this to in his rollout for his solo album that might come out later this year to, get the hype up, get the ball rolling, and then he can use the success of that record, that medium success, to then capitalize off of when his own solo project actually drops. That is not to disrespect YoungBoy by any means. That dude also went crazy on the tracks, but that's just my theory on it and why DaBaby is doing this tape now. So NBA YoungBoy, DaBaby, Better Than You, dropping this Friday, March 4th. We get the release date, we get the cover art, we get the track list, we get 2 singles so far, Hit and Neighborhood Superstar, and also music videos for those. Go check those out. Really funny because YoungBoy's still on house arrest. So yeah, that's all my thoughts, all my opinions on this. Now let me know what you think about this. Are you excited for Better Than You, NBA YoungBoy and DaBaby collaborative mixtape or album? Have you known about this for longer than just the last couple of days? Because I didn't. This just came out of nowhere to me, but maybe that's just me. What features do you expect to be on the track list that we haven't obviously seen so far? All of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.